Are you trying to do something different, or are you trying to? Are you just hoping that someone's going to be, take pity on you and think less of you, think lowly of you, and think that, oh, you're so weak and pathetic that you need me to come along and save you from yourself? You ever go to a restaurant and you try to figure out, why the hell do they do it this way? It seems so stupid to you, the way they have some procedure, some policy. Here's why. Because they've tried other things that didn't work. That's the thing that, even if it's not perfect, it works the best. Why do we have to have school uniforms? It's a great question. Why do some schools have school uniforms? Rather than just be like, it doesn't even do anything. Really? Have you researched it? Have you looked into it? Do you know? Or are you just making assertions? And that's the thing. It's the humble mind, it's the conscientious mind that looks to figure out why things are the way that they are. That tells you it's not helping you the way that you're doing it. Because it makes you rigid, makes you unable to adapt, makes you unable to understand. It forces you to believe that all annotation is exactly the same way, to see everything in the same way. But no two things are alike. I know that sounds like I'm talking about instructions and assignments right now, but I hope that you're understanding I'm not. I'm talking about life right now. Because it takes sacrifice. If you sacrifice some things, you're not smiling because you've lost them. You're sacrificing. You're smiling because of what you gained. Those sacrifices mattered. And that's a hell of a question to ask. I may have already asked you guys this, but it's something to think about. All of the sacrifices that your parents have made, all the sacrifices that your family, your whole lineage has made to bring you to where you are right now. The way that you're living, the way that you're working, the way that you're thinking, the opportunities you're taking advantage of, are you honoring their sacrifice? And people get mad when I ask that question, but I understand what that means. First off, what good is a philosopher? It doesn't anger people, but I understand why people get angry at that question, because sometimes it hits. If your answer to that question is yes, then it wouldn't bother you. In fact, you'd be happy. You'd say, damn, I never thought about it, but yeah, I do honor what they've done. I do honor my parents' sacrifice. Hell, I'm going to take what they've done. I'm going to make something great out of it. And I'm on that path. You'd be proud of that. If not, it bothers us. And you see these people destroy themselves, destroy their appearances, destroy their lives, because they're angry at dad. Whether you're angry or not, you still have to live your life. At what point do you finally say, I've put enough into it? I've tried hard enough. Or at what point do you allow, at what point do you allow experience to dictate that? Like I wonder how many of you have tried a whole bunch of times to fix people. Not even just, maybe one person, sure, and yet it always backfires. And then you try it multiple times. And I wonder if every time you do it, you give a little bit less, and a little bit less, and a little bit less. And I read that up on the board, trying to versus trying to. And it isn't just a spelling difference. And when I hear people use these expressions, or tried to, I almost never hear it like in a sense of like, it's kind of like, can you help me with some work, whatever. Okay, yeah, what are you working on? Well, you know what, I'm trying to go to Harvard. I almost never see people like hit their hands together and play with their hands and say, I'm trying to do something like go to Harvard. And I'm trying to start a business. Trying to is almost like a substitute for the word hope for a lot of people. In other words, I'm trying to do this. Are you really trying to though? Are you really trying to? And it's just a weird phenomenon. I've noticed that it really is in the expression, how people say it. It tells you a lot. It's in the expression. For some reason, it comes out in how we say things. It's kind of like, if any of you guys watch those shows on television, like they'll go talk to prisoners who committed crimes. And you can hear it different in passive language versus active language. Passive language sounds like this. So why are you here? Well, some friends picked me up one night, went to a party, and an altercation ensued, and shots were fired. It was matched to my gun. 2 people died. So here I am. Anybody knows what's missing from that whole explanation? The role that I played, even from the beginning. It isn't I went with my friends. It was my friends picked me up. It isn't that I got into a fight at the party. It's that an altercation ensued. It's not I pulled out my weapon and I squeezed the trigger and I shot and killed these people. It was my gun was fired. It was matched to me. So here I am. It's even if the person, and then even like a couple sentences later, they'll say, hey, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to take responsibility for what I did. But you're really not. There's a passive voice that's there. Why does that matter? Who cares? Here's why it matters. We have actually done a lot of research on that. How you talk is an incredible predictor of your success in life. If you talk in passive voice versus active voice. And here's the trick. You can change it just by speaking in active voice. I did this, I did that. When you hear someone like Elon Musk talk about how he started Tesla, notice he doesn't just say, well, this, he's not playing with his hands either. This company just started, and I was at the helmet. No, he's talking about, I did this, I did that, I made this move, I went and got this investor. And it's such a weird phenomenon that just by changing how you talk, you can change. And I'm talking like short term, like immediately, how many the positive differences it makes in your life, just by changing that. Yeah, because the way you speak reflects a mindset. It's a Rorschach test. What's on the page? Remember the ink blot test? Whatever you see on the page is what's inside of you. How you talk about the world reflects how you see it. If the way that you see the world is all of these things are happening to me, that means I have no control. If I have no control, why try? There is no reason to try if you think that you have no control. You have to have a reason to try. One thing I will say to you guys, I hate being serious with you, like with that first PowerPoint, going over the journal stuff, going over the grades. I hate being serious with you. I'm incredibly serious with myself, but for some reason I have difficulty being serious with other people. I'm way too, doesn't seem like it, but way too forgiving and understanding and all. But here's the thing. Right now, there are people who are sitting there right now who got like really low scores on their journals, and I know this psychology. I've talked to people, and they're thinking, why bother? So I've already failed the first one, so I can't even get a good grade. I probably can't even pass the class. You can hear the way that people are talking that way. They're looking for a reason not to. They're looking for an excuse not to. They're looking for almost like to give themselves permission to give up. Well, I can just do Apex then. I can just do it some other way. Yeah, you could. That's true. That's true. But I wonder if you had kids, if you had like someone you actually cared about, would you want them to take that way out and just blow off the rest of the semester? You could, of course. Work on other things, work on other classes. When you need government for sure to pass, you could put your time. I don't stand above you. I don't make you do anything. So it is entirely on you. So are you looking for a way, or are you looking for an excuse? You're looking for a reason. Because if you're looking for an excuse in this one situation, I would suggest to you, if you examine your life, you're going to see that that's a pattern, man. I mean, a pattern among all of life. It's a pattern across life, and this is not a way of saying, don't be this way. Oh, what the hell do I know? It's up to you how you are. But my point is that you could be different. You could change it just by recognizing it and speaking differently. Not, so I probably can't even pass, to, okay, so how do I pass? Oh, I can't, so I'm probably too far behind. I'm not too far behind, am I? No, nobody is. Even if you got a 0 on this first journal, you could still get an A in the class. I've seen it happen. It's not that I think it's like mathematically possible. I've seen it happen. It's possible. Nothing is so screwed in life generally that you can't fix it. Very few things in life get so screwed that you can't fix it. But it's how you approach the world. Are you trying to do something different, or are you trying to? Are you just hoping that someone's going to be, take pity on you and think less of you, think lowly of you, and think that, oh, you're so weak and pathetic that you need me to come along and save you from yourself. I'll tell you, if you need me to save you from something, we're all in deep shit. Yeah, Leah knows. Yeah, no, you do not need me to save you from anything. You need yourself. And it isn't even about saving. It's about rebounding. It's about coming back from and doing better. And it's not just a journal. The journal is just it's a real thing, of course, but it's a metaphor for life. Why do you suppose I give it to you every day? Why do you suppose we do it every single day? There's a reason for it. A couple of reasons for it. Through all the complaining, through all the, we have to write every day. Oh my God, why? That's a great question. Why? It's a question almost nobody asks me. why do we do this thing every single day? Or twice a week? Don't be that person who's like, we don't do it every day. And we do it twice a week. Why? Why is it the format I give you? Why is it identify the main claim? Why is it explain the extent to which you agree or disagree? Why? I have an interesting question actually, which is, why is it that it's so hated at the beginning, and yet when I do the surveys at the end of the semester, end of the year, it's overwhelming. I did 40 of them last year, 40 surveys, 38 of them came back and all of them said the same thing. Love the journals, don't stop doing them, keep doing them. And that's because the SurveyMonkey only lets you do 40. Why? Because by the end, if you're looking back on it, you can see the reason for it, the purpose behind it. One of them, I'll tell you, I won't give you all the reasons since no one's asked, but I'll give you one of them. It's a daily measurement of caring. It's a daily measurement of trying. Again, your two predictors of your success in life. Number one, your IQ. That's the biggest predictor of your success in life. But it's only about 14 to 16% of your life outcome. So, fine. Number two predictor of success in life, conscientiousness, attention to detail. It might sound silly to you, but it seems silly to me that some people, I don't know where this comes from. I figure it has to come from somewhere, right? Because several people do it. You staple the paper on the right side rather than the left side. I don't know where that comes from. Well, why does that matter? Because it's supposed to be on the left side. Yeah, but why? But that's the problem. You're putting it in the wrong place without even knowing why it's supposed to go on the left-hand side. That's a lack of conscientiousness. That's a refusal to pay attention to detail. It's the mindset there is, I don't understand it, so therefore I'm just not going to do it. Dude, there are a million things in life that you don't understand. We stand on the shoulders of giants who came before us. You don't know how gravity works, right? But you still won't jump off of a building because there are people who've come before us who have explained it, and so we as a general species understand why. Everything that's done is done for a reason. You ever go to a restaurant and you try to figure out why the hell do they do it this way? It seems so stupid to you, the way they have some procedure, some policy. Here's why. Because they've tried other things that didn't work. That's the thing that, even if it's not perfect, it works the best. Why do we have to have school uniforms? It's a great question. Why do some schools have school uniforms? Rather than just be like, it doesn't even do anything. Really? Have you researched it? Have you looked into it? Do you know? Or are you just making assertions? And that's the thing. It's the humble mind, it's the conscientious mind that looks to figure out why things are the way that they are. It's your attention to detail. Why do you do these things every day? Because it measures your level of caring. Can anybody in here, don't answer me, but talk to yourself, anybody in here could be surprised by the grade that they've gotten? The only reason anyone should be surprised by the grade they have right now is if it's like, whoa, that's higher than I expected. He was nice on those assignments. Wow, okay. And I mean, like, looking back on it, and I'm not saying you weren't surprised maybe when you first looked at them, but went over the instructions. Can you see now where you didn't follow the instructions? Can you see where you actually did follow the instructions? Can you see where you did better than whatever? No one should be surprised by what you get. But it's that attention to detail. And I will say this much. Take it for what it's worth. Nobody who followed the directions on the assignments failed the assignments. I was actually talking to somebody. I was here on Sunday and Monday, grading everything. And I was talking to somebody and said, this is a trick. And I showed them some of the papers. A friend of mine came by, which was terrible because she wouldn't help me grade. What the hell kind of a friend is that, you know? I showed her these assignments and just asked her, can you just look at these and see what you think of them? In fact, I asked her, can you just look at these and grade them? Without even knowing what the assignment is, without knowing what the answers are supposed to be, out of 30. And she's looking at them, and she just said, I don't know what I'm looking for, but out of 30, I would give this one 30, and I would give this one, 15 or so. And she was exactly right. Why? Because just looking at it, you can see that there's something that's about the attention to detail. Person who staples the papers in the wrong place doesn't mean it doesn't mean you're going to fail, but it does indicate a personality type. People who I go over the annotations, I give you the model, I tell you to copy it down, and I say, now continue this, and then from that point forward, they do summaries instead of actual annotations the way I showed you to do it. Oh, I know we were supposed to do it that way. How could you have not known? I specifically said it several times. What did you think I meant when I said we're going to annotate with the elements of reasoning? And I show you how to do it, and I tell you to copy it out, do it this way. Continue from this paragraph down, doing it exactly the way we've been doing it. And you go in a complete different direction. And then you can see the frustration setting. Well, I don't even know why I had to do it that way. You're right. You don't know why you had to do it that way. But I will say this much. If doing summaries was actually helping you academically and intellectually, couldn't you have made the modifications to do it properly? That tells you it's not helping you the way that you're doing it. Because it makes you rigid, makes you unable to adapt, makes you unable to understand. It forces you to believe that all annotation is exactly the same way, to see everything in the same way. But no two things are alike. I know that sounds like I'm talking about instructions and assignments right now, but I hope that you're understanding I'm not. I'm talking about life right now. I'm talking about when you leave here, and you don't have people running around. Like right now, I can tell you why it is that you didn't get, why you got the grade that you got, which you already knew. If you looked at it now, there won't be any surprises. But I listened to it was interesting. What's it called? I think there's two of them, Surrounded and Jubilee. Anybody watch those things on YouTube? Essentially, yeah, they'll take a person, like they'll say like a pro-life activist, and then they'll have them debate like 20 anti-abortion activists. And then they'll get time until you. So I was listening to this one guy who was on. His name is Patrick Ben-David. He has a podcast, but he's Iranian. He came to the United States. He had nothing. He started with a minimum wage job, and I think he's only like in his 40s or so. But he has companies now that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The guy's if he's not a billionaire, he probably is. If he says he's not, he's lying about it. But he's at least close to it. And you have these people going up, and his argument was essentially that this land, that the United States is a meritocracy that offers opportunity to anybody who wants it. And he was surrounded by people who were telling him that's not true. And this one person goes up, and I will say that the person is one person I'm thinking specifically. He's dressed in a non-linear fashion, a non-traditional fashion, and he's a school substitute teacher, which scares the hell out of me. But he's telling him, I've applied for 431 jobs. He said he had a number. I don't know. I don't believe him that he's applied for that many jobs. But let's just say it's true. And he says, nobody will hire me. How's that possible? Based on what I just told you, can anybody figure out why that's possible? He's dressed in a strange way. And then the guy offers him a job and says, if I offered you a job right now, would you take it? Because the guy has the means to do it. The guy has multiple companies. He can find a place for this dude. And the guy says, if I can find a job that aligns with my ethics, okay, now you can start to see why it is that this person maybe has applied for hundreds of jobs and gotten none of them. Because he expects the whole world to bend to him rather than adapting himself. It doesn't mean you sell out, but it means that you pay attention to the detail. Why are things the way that they are? You have to like them. You have to agree with them, yeah, but they are the way they are for a reason, unless you understand the reason for it. How much do you suppose that guy, when you look at someone like Patrick Bet-David, again, working at Haagen-Dazs in the Glendale Galleria in Glendale, Los Angeles, for minimum wage, and then you fast forward a couple decades, and the guy's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Do you suppose that guy has sacrificed something? Do you suppose that guy has some skin in the game, that he's given something up? You can't appreciate something if you've never sacrificed it. This one person I'm talking about right now, he wants to hold on to everything and yet also get the benefits. I should get to behave and look and act and talk however I want, and yet you should still have to hire me and give me as much money as I think I deserve also. Not only does that, when we say that's not the way the world works, but moreover, do you really think it should work that way? You shouldn't have to sacrifice anything. If you don't sacrifice anything, you don't appreciate the things that you get. I don't know another way to say that. I've told you guys about the graduation plan, right? Every year they say there will be no grad plan this year. You have to have 44 credits to graduate. And yet for the past 5 years, they'll let you guys graduate with 26. Why do I tell you that? Because it's true. I hope that nobody in here lowers themselves to that point. Yet I know that there will be some people. And you'll get a diploma with 26 credits, and the counselors will tell you, we're not doing any this year. And then come January, February, they'll say, oh, okay, it's just one class, it's just this, it's just that. And that's because they think low of you. And then you'll get a diploma-ish, I guess, but you didn't really sacrifice for it. And then surprise, surprise, so many people later on in life say, oh, high school was bullshit, I didn't learn anything. Oh, you learned something. You did learn something. It just isn't the lessons that we maybe should learn. Because it takes sacrifice. If you sacrifice some things, you're not smiling because you've lost them. You're sacrificing. You're smiling because of what you gained. Those sacrifices mattered. And that's a hell of a question to ask. I may have already asked you guys this, but it's something to think about. All of the sacrifices that your parents have made, all the sacrifices that your family, your whole lineage has made to bring you to where you are right now. The way that you're living, the way that you're working, the way that you're thinking, the opportunities you're taking advantage of, are you honoring their sacrifice? And people get mad when I ask that question, but I understand what that means. First off, what good is a philosopher? It doesn't anger people, but I understand why people get angry at that question, because sometimes it hits. If your answer to that question is yes, then it wouldn't bother you. In fact, you'd be happy. You'd say, damn, I never thought about it, but yeah, I do honor what they've done. I do honor my parents' sacrifice. Hell, I'm going to take what they've done. I'm going to make something great out of it. And I'm on that path. You'd be proud of that. If not, it bothers us. And some people are just, let's call it what it is, angry at their parents, hate their families, hate their parents. For some reason, have contempt and anger, resentment. And I'm not saying it's deserved or undeserved. I don't know your situation. I'm just saying that's what it is. And then they live accordingly. And you see these people destroy themselves, destroy their appearances, destroy their lives because they're angry at dad. You know? Whether you're angry or not, you still have to live your life. And so what sacrifices are going to make it worth it? I don't know. But hopefully you do. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, concerns? Yes.